Alright boys, we're making a YouTube channel. What's it gonna be about? We should have top 10s. Yeah, that's good, and with our characters we'll stick out among the crowd. How about some thought experiments? Sure, we can have a few different kinds of content, it's sorta similar. Here's a thought, why don't we also get skits? And that's kinda different from our current stuff, but hey, 3 isn't that bad. Rants, we need rants. Okay, I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves to make that many story time animations. No way, story time animations are pretty detached from what we've established. Guest artists. Okay, that's it, I'm out. Bye. I'm leaving. It's best to try and establish certain kinds of content that you make, whether it be comedy, rants, commentary, makeup tutorials, ASMR, etc. It's good to branch out and evolve your content, definitely. You may even change what kind of video you make. Having multiple series is also fine when done in moderation. I have 2 main series where I talk about YouTube shit or just random shit, and every once in a while I also do cartoon reviews. For the most part though, I have a set type of content I make. If I ever choose to make something very different, I'll upload to my second channel. That's usually the reason creators have second channels or third channels, because their normal audience would feel somewhat alienated by such a deviation in character. Making over 6 kinds of videos at the same time would definitely split up your audience a little bit, meaning they'd watch you for one kind of content and nothing else. I've been describing a channel called Culture Crash, made in collaboration with Interested Guy, Beautiful Valentine, and Braytoy. Before I get into the channel as a whole, let's look at the personalities and team members behind it, or at least the ones credited in the description. First, I decided to check out the supposed animator of Culture Crash, Braytoy. I found his channel is no longer Braytoy, it's Team Pixel. Oh, and they haven't uploaded an animation in over a year. Brayden, that's his actual name, wasn't making these videos alone as I had thought. He in fact had 2 other guys I know nothing about working with him. Brayden isn't even the lead animator in the videos. Maybe that's why Culture Crash doesn't have the greatest animation. Despite that, at the end of some videos, he puts a link to his other channel, and that's his word, so I assume Brayden is the owner of the channel rather than a lead animator. I don't know why, but all comments on their videos are disabled. No idea why, other than maybe Braytoy or Team Pixel or whatever the fuck are a bunch of pussies who don't want to see any mean comments. They aren't even disliked, they have a pretty good like to dislike ratio. To be fair, the animation does look decent, much better than the quote-unquote animation of Culture Crash. If Brayden was the lead animator on these videos, I think when he branched out to Culture Crash, he could have made some better quality stuff. These videos have backgrounds, they have nice colors, they have lip syncing, they have, oh, I don't know, basic animation, and they are just a lot more well put together. Brayden is only the guy behind the scenes though. We still have 2 personalities to look at. There's Beautiful Valentine, the voice of Crash, who has been a voice actor who has done multiple YouTube projects over several years, including comic dubs and YouTube poops. Interesting guy, the voice of Culture and writer for the videos, doesn't seem to have much of anything done other than Culture Crash. I honestly don't even know why he has a channel of his own to begin with. Together with these elements and a dab of Chemical X, the creation of Culture Crash is made. Now, what kind of content would this group of extraordinary gentlemen make? Well, in their channel trailer they say they make lists, skits, and thought experiments. Obviously somewhat of a far cry from their current work, but first let's look at their list. They started off somewhat clickbaity, which I get, but I think putting a ball sack in your thumbnail is kind of going a little bit far. What set these lists apart from their peers was having 2 personalities banter with not only pictures and videos, but multiple, if not somewhat simplistic doodles to represent what they were talking about. The lists with both Culture and Crash are alright. Culture and Crash are able to bounce off each other somewhat well when together. The problem arises when Culture does the list by himself, which he's been doing solo since the video 10 Biggest Police Screw-Ups. 6 videos later with 8 amazing apps that changed the world, the videos started to show little to no drawn images whatsoever other than when guest artists would be brought on. I don't understand why guest artists are brought on in the first place, considering Brayden's entire contribution to Culture Crash is his animation. So when a guest artist is brought on, Brayden just isn't doing anything other than, I guess, helping with the script a bit. Back to Culture being on his own, when he's with Crash, there is a clear distinction as to them being complete opposites put in a room, but when Culture is by himself, he's just a normal guy with sprites. Nothing really special. The later videos remind me of when in a Culture Crash 100K special, Culture mentions a version of Culture Crash without Crash and no drawn images. The only difference I see between those lists and now is Culture has sprites. The thought experiments are just asking questions and spending the video discussing it. These videos are just fine. Their skits are also fine. Since Culture does the top 10s, Crash does the skits, and he can be entertaining on his own. I did notice these videos are also where most of the cameos from other YouTubers for the channel came from. I have no problem with cameos, shoutouts, or collaboration. Sometimes it's necessary to help spread the word of your name and grow your audience when it's in a rut. That said, you also need to know your viewer base. If I say collaborated with Ali A, sure, I'd get tons of views, but Ali A makes more gaming and Fortnite compilation type stuff, so some of his fans might remain, but they're accustomed to his type of content, so most will just watch his video where he is in it and nothing else. I did collaborate with Ellis Mark a few months ago, and he makes content similar to mine, so if some of his fans saw my video with him, they could see I make similar content and possibly continue to watch me. But then again, why would you want to watch some weeb 15-year-old complain about Tyler Perry for 14 minutes? Wait, don't click off! My point is, cameos have their time and place and are good when used correctly. Culture Crash did not use them correctly, and by the time they tried to fit in, they were a little too late. In their skits, they have Tabs, Something Else YT, Tim Tom, and The Odd Ones Out. Can anyone see similarities between these creators? Hint, it's not that they were all reviewed by Daft Pina, no, it's that they're all storytime animation channels. Culture Crash made no such kind of videos at the time they were brought on, so while they did get a massive sub and viewer boost at the time, adding to their current subs now, looking at their views currently, it's clear most of those new viewers that they brought in chose to not stick around. Culture Crash did eventually make animated story times, but they didn't start until 4 months after their last cameo from another storytime channel. Before I get into their story times though, I do want to mention their rants. I say mention because their rants are just their skits, but it's usually about a specific topic rather than some sort of really out there situation. Now their story times. Okay, so alright, let's think of some of the basics of a story time video. Little to no animation whatsoever. Includes topics like dates and jobs. Not much of a personality. Okay, yeah, this describes Culture Crash's storytime videos. It's basically what they are. Something I found dumb, though, is Crash's videos aren't storytime videos. They are the skits. The only difference is there are more pictures in one of Crash's storytimes than his skits. Speaking on the animation is easy because there is none, and I'm not talking about Wolfie Chew when she said she didn't animate enough. I'm saying that they do not even attempt to animate. Once again, Brayden, the one with animation experience, isn't the one making the images for this video. It's instead someone named Ironically Ionic on Twitter and someone else named Stephanie. This again brings back my point of what is Brayden doing in this situation. It says in the description he helped with the visuals, but the visuals are pre-made, like mine. So yeah, other than the accidentally assaulted a disabled kid video, which he made on his own, it doesn't seem like he does much of anything for these storytime videos. These videos do not have animation in them. It's honestly much worse than that of a storytime animator. There are instances where a single image will play on screen for like 5 or 6 seconds and then just sort of statically switch to the next shot or even scene. I was baffled when I first saw this kind of video. They called it a fucking animation. Animatics are more animated than these videos. Chili Panda's old videos are more fucking animated than these. This is lazy. Even by storyteller standards, this is lazy. This is a fucking spit in the face to people who try to animate. Culture doesn't have any more of a personality telling a story. He's laid back and tells jokes every once in a while, which I guess is kind of different, but it's kind of boring. Crash is still funnish, but like I said, his videos aren't story times, they are simply better made skits. Culture Crash took a break and recently came back and have so far only made these storytime videos, and I worry this will become their main kind of content rather than their other stuff. Either they should try to improve upon this whole animation thing, or they should stop calling them animations, or they should stop making the videos altogether. How's that for a thought? Oh, and who doesn't love clickbait? Oh, I know, I sure love me some goddamn clickbait in my life, and who boy does Culture Crash love clickbait? Arrows, asses, censored, sex, and Butch Hartman, my very fucking favorite. Okay, I'm getting a little bit too worked up. I need to just take a second to calm down for a bit. Okay, I'm good. The clickbait is all there. It's all cut and dry, and no one gives a fuck about it. Not that I don't know why they use clickbait. It's because of their waning views. It's why they choose to make story times. It's why they try and bring on these popular people for support. Their channel is dying. Looking at their Patreon, they make a rather small amount for their supposed massive fans. An average video of theirs can barely pass 10k unless they either ride on the coattails of popular topics or make clickbait. This is why they change their content content to way less than animated story times. If Culture Crest wants to have a chance at gaining back some of their former relevancy, they should find a way of only having a few video topics, and if they want to do more, they could make a second or third channel. If they want to continue with their storytime videos, they should try and put more time into them to make them actual animated in the slightest, or just not call them that. And as a personal thought, maybe chill with the clickbait and give Culture more of a personality. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Sorry if this video will come out a little bit late. It's because I'm in the mountains in fucking Utah right now, and I'm trying to edit this thing while I'm on the 24-hour road trip to it. Okay, that's all I have to say. See you guys later. Goodbye.